When we speak of successful, highly anticipated apocalyptic TV shows, The Walking Dead certainly comes in as one of the top 5. I mean, the show's continued high ratings are certainly proof that the zombie pop culture craze was more than your average fad. However, as lucrative and popular as the show is, it's not without its own fair share of secrets, hidden truths, and quite frankly, issues. This certainly gives us a lot to talk about, which is why in today's video, we'll be uncovering The Walking Dead cast secrets, their dark behind-the-scenes drama, and a bunch of other jaw-dropping, lip-smacking, intriguing, hidden details we're sure you had no idea about. That being said, let's get on with it, shall we? The SWAT team was called in during a scene. Yep, you heard that right. During production on the second episode of the inaugural season, Michael Rooker was on a rooftop shooting to simulate a zombie sniper session, but onlookers mistook his behavior for the real deal and called in the cops. It seems pretty hilarious talking about it now, but I doubt unexpectedly receiving the police's SWAT team was anything short of scary and shocking. Rooker narrated his shock, hearing the officer say, "Please, stand down." Concerned citizens had called the local police, and the SWAT team were called to investigate. Thankfully, Rooker, the production team, and the SWAT guys managed to work out what was going on before things got too serious. It also wasn't the last time a false alarm would ring regarding the show. In 2016, a Great Falls, Montana family found themselves swarmed by police after neighbors called in a possible domestic violence incident involving guns inside their home. Why? Simply because they were watching The Walking Dead loud enough for neighbors to hear. Phew. Actress serving 18 years in prison. Now, The Walking Dead features a ton of fantastically talented extras who don't usually get the credit they deserve. However, one woman whose name will forever be remembered, albeit for the wrong reason, is Shannon Richardson. Shannon, an aspiring actress who had had some minor roles on The Vampire Diaries and Franklin and Bash, played a walker on a number of episodes of The Walking Dead, so much so that she was even used in promotional material. Sadly, that's the extent of her acting career, as not long after, Shannon was arrested and sentenced to 18 years in prison for sending ricin-laced letters to then-President Barack Obama and the New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg. It's the audacity for us. That's not all though. After her much-needed arrest, she woefully tried to frame her then-husband, but got caught, with the mother of 6 entering a guilty plea to avoid a lifetime sentence. Xander Berkeley sexually harassed a fan. This might come as much of a shock to you as it did to us, but it turns out that Xander Berkeley is as creepy as he is on set. Xander Berkeley plays the arrogant and selfish Hilltop Colony leader Gregory, a character that numerous fans, filmmakers, and even fellow cast members dislike for obvious reasons. Quite similar to the comic book version, Gregory has never actually endeared himself to fans of the show, particularly for his attempt at acquiring the beloved Sweet Maggie through a trade deal. Ironically, it turns out Berkeley is just as creepy as the character he plays on the show. Weird? It's about to get weirder. After following a fan who'd been asking him for a follow on Twitter, Berkeley began sending her direct messages. Although these messages started off as harmless and innocent, Berkeley soon began requesting nude photos of the woman and discussing his struggling marriage, all of which is not just inappropriate, but also quite disgusting. He eventually told her she needs a proper spanking and that his favorite age of woman was between 15 to 29, which is more disgusting considering Berkeley is not just in his 60s, he's also married with 2 children. However, despite the brewing controversy, Berkeley kept his job and his marriage and continues to star in other projects. We certainly wonder why and how. But then again, if there's one thing we do know about the show business, it's the famous saying, the show must go on. Just shoot me. It's not uncommon to hear actors say they felt bad leaving shows and that their final scenes were emotional for them, but that was certainly not the case for Jeffrey DeMunn, who was actually pleased that the show was eating him alive. DeMunn, the character actor, happily played one of our favorite roles, Dale Horvath, until the character's bloody end in 2011, an exit that DeMunn had apparently asked for. Did you know this? We didn't think so either. DeMunn had previously been directed by Darabont in The Shawshank Redemption, and he told Cleveland.com in 2018, "I immediately took to Frank and liked him and trusted him, and I think he trusted me. So when Darabont came calling about TWD, I didn't have to think about it. It was Frank. I knew it was going to be quality. So it was no surprise that when Darabont was fired, DeMunn basically followed him out the door. Dale's death was my decision," he explained. "I was furious about how Frank was pushed out of the show. I spent a week not being able to take a full breath, and then I realized, oh, I can quit. So I called them and said, it's a zombie show. Kill me. I just don't want to do this anymore. It was an immense relief to me." Talk about loyalty. Criminal cast activities. A lot of us fans aren't aware that some of The Walking Dead's cast members have found themselves in hot water for their off-camera bad behavior near the show's Georgia set, some of which can be classified as downright criminal activities. And as expected, we're spilling the beans for your pleasure. Here we go. First, in 2012, actor Scott Wilson, who played the character Herschel, was arrested for drunk driving and was said to have been swaying and asked to do yoga poses instead of a field sobriety test when he was pulled over by police. Now, the deep-rooted humor in this is that his character Herschel, as you might recall, was a recovering alcoholic on the show, which is what we like to call wild. Then in 2015, Seth Gilliam, who played plays the Reverend Gabriel Stokes, was also arrested for DUI, as well as reckless driving and marijuana possession after being stopped for speeding at 107 miles per hour in the 55 mile per hour zone. We're all aware that AMC's The Walking Dead had Frank Darabont's fingerprints all over it, both stylistically and with his pick of original cast members. Cast members like Melissa McBride, Laurie Holden, and Jeffrey DeMunn, in particular, had worked with him before, so you can imagine our surprise when we learned that the network decided to take Darabont off a second season despite its early rating success. What was the reason? AMC, which was then fielding financial issues with the creators of Mad Men and Breaking Bad at the time, thought to slash its production budget on The Walking Dead and oust Darabont over creative and managerial differences. Glenn Mazzara, who was Darabont's second in command for the show before being promoted to chief, said that the unexpected split came from a mix of friction between Darabont and Kirkman, the network's inflexibility over prep time for the second season's premiere, and Darabont's strength as a filmmaker and not a showrunner that led to the split. Darabont is understandably not one of the millions of current viewers, and DeMunn followed him out. After being let go, Darabont pursued legal action against AMC, testifying in a deposition that the network created crisis-level problems by slashing the show's budget in spite of rating success and accusing executives of essentially inventing reasons to fire him. In late September of 2016, Darabont's lawyers revealed that they were seeking more than $280 million in damages, a figure reflecting their case's contention that AMC deprived Darabont of revenue by artificially lowering the show's license fee. In the end, they reached a settlement deal, agreeing that AMC would pay Darabont $200 million. TWD was rejected twice before AMC. Now a whirlwind success for AMC, a lot of us would assume getting the show approved and on air was a walk in the park for writer Robert Kirkman and producer Gail Hurd. We're proud to tell you it was actually the opposite, as AMC wasn't even the first place the show was pitched by producers. It's now 10 seasons in and still going strong, only now delayed by the coronavirus. It's surprising and somewhat saddening to think that The Walking Dead might never have gotten made after being knocked back by not one, but two major networks. Executive producer David Alpert, in an interview with XSSW, discussed how we first presented the idea to NBC, who said the show would never get on air. They persisted and sent a script to the network and shot a pilot episode, but still couldn't convince NBC to take a chance. Then Gail Hurd approached HBO about adapting Robert Kirkman's series, but was asked to compromise on the gore factor because they believed the show would be too violent and featured too much gore, something which later became a staple of the series' TV run with AMC. They obviously changed their mind when Game of Thrones came around though. Thankfully, AMC took the show on and helped it become a resounding success. That's it guys, we've come to the end of today's video. Which of these The Walking Dead secrets astounds you the most? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.